Okay, this is how to fix a Dell laptop Inspiron 15R laptop screen because mine is cracked right now. So we're going to close it and then turn it upside down. And be very careful when you do this. And then you're going to push these two things in. Or out. And you're going to take this piece off right here. Then you're going to flip it back over and open the screen. And now what you're going to do is you're going to place your fingers in between the bezel and the laptop screen and pull it carefully. I'm just going to pull this apart. Again, you're going to want to do this carefully. Alright, now that's off. Alright, the next step is going to be unscrewing the top corners. There are two screws in the top corners, one right there and one right there. And you're going to unscrew them with a Phillips screwdriver or a star head screwdriver, should work. And you're going to put that aside, the screws aside, to where you know where they are. And then you're going to pull this part away from the back of the computer. Very, very carefully.
Just in the computer.
Alright, now you are going to unscrew the 4 side screws. So when you pull this apart, there's going to be 4, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So with the same screwdriver, you're going to unscrew it. And again, be very careful when doing all this, because all this is very fragile. Alright, the next step is there is this cord coming from the top of the computer right here. It's right next to the webcam, if you have a webcam. And what you're going to do is you're just going to slightly pull on this. Alright, and that is out of there. So you just tug that. And then on the computer screen, right there, you are going to remove the tape, the silver tape right there, and then there is a little gold piece, right, that looks like this, and it is inserted into this little slot right here, and you're just gonna gently tug on that. You're gonna gently tug on it and it should come out, and then you remove the computer screen, and that was the old computer screen. And now I'm going to bring out the new computer screen, and this one was purchased through laptopscreens.com for a fairly reasonable rate. So you take it out of the package and be very careful as you do all this. And just gonna wanna put it back down here. Now, the last step is to do everything in reverse and pretty much do everything that you did in the exact opposite order, putting it back together. So we are going to put this in. That back on there.
Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too.
You're going to put this.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer.
That is back in its place. But I'm not the only back in its place.
I hope someday you will join us.
Okay, now with putting the screws back on these two top spaces up here, what you're going to want to do, which is easier in many ways, including these side bars with the 4 screws on it, with 2 screws on each side, you're going to want to stick the screw, the longer screws out of the set. The longer screws out of the set, you're going to want to stick them into the silver part first. Stick your Phillips head or star head screwdriver and then guide it in like that. If you do it the other way, your screw has a tendency to fall out more and get lost. Now, don't put pressure on any part of the screen because, I mean, you don't want to break the screen. So you got into this in the first place. And make sure they're tight and snug, but not to the point where you're going to strip the screw, because then you might be putting too much pressure on the screen and you will crack the screen and have to do this lovely process over again. Now, same thing with this side. Take your screw, the longer one out of the set, your star head Phillips screwdriver, stick it in this top pointer hole up here that's going to connect your main part of the screen that you just put on to the backing part of your computer. Same thing, guide it in with your screwdriver, twist it in righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Make sure you're putting enough pressure that where the screw grabs onto the part of the back of the computer, and no pressure on the screen part itself. You can hold these top points up here, such as this one and this one over here, Do not put pressure on these silver bars, as you will break the screen or could possibly break the screen. And just remember, snug enough to the point where they're on and stable, but not going to break the screen. Too much pressure will in turn break the screen. Now this next part, obviously the last part of our steps here, this is what is called the bezel, as you learned in the first part. Make sure the webcam is on top. It won't go right if you don't. Remember, back on very carefully. This bezel right here has a set of magnets. That there is 2 up on top, 1 on the side, and 2 on the bottom. Those will attach to the screen, so you can line it up pretty easily that way. It's better if you start with a corner and then work your way across the top, as if you're like closing an envelope. You start on one corner and work your way towards the sides, or you start in the middle and work your way towards the bottom part.
I don't think the bottom part does.
Okay, now after you're done putting the bezel back on, you're going to want to close your screen. Be very careful with closing the screen. If your new screen came in bubble wrap, this would be a great time to use the bubble wrap. You pick up your computer, set it on your knee,
Yeah, that's safe.
on your lap if you're a bigger person like me. If not, put it on a couch. Turn it over. On top of the bubble wrap, this battery portion right here facing towards you. So you're going to want to turn it around. The battery, if it won't go in right, your computer will catch on fire. So what you're going to want to do is this part right here, the part that has a little extra T sticking out. What you're going to want to do is that part is going into this section of the computer. So turn it facing you, as I have it here, like this. You're going to want to stick it in, set it down so it's flat on the computer. You're not going to have to put one side in and do the other side. And slide it in.
It
So
should make a snap.
one side should click in. You're going to want to touch the other side and push it to lock. Flip your computer back over. Press the power button. And you should have a brand new, lovely screen. Thank you for watching, and I hope you had as good a time as we did doing this.